What's cooking, everybody? Welcome to the F Tony. My name is Tony, your host. Julie. I, I'm somebody. Yeah, let's get right into it. Um, I wanted to talk about people. I wanted to talk about the way people see other people, and I just found it funny because today was my first ever true hater. Today was my first true hater on Instagram, and I feel like this specific person, they've never interacted with me on Twitch. They've never seen one of my streams. They just hate it because I posted an Instagram reel, and I still smile when I think of this person because what type of person do you have to be to look at another human, somebody on the same team as you, same species, same, you know, same with the same fucking people, same species. We are on the same team. You look at somebody on the same team being successful, you hate it. You hate because somebody's being successful. That is crazy. That's why I never take. That's why I'm smiling when I think about it because it's so incomprehensible to me. It does not make sense to me that somebody we're all on the same team, man. We're team human. Yet some of us have never met another one. Like you go on Instagram, you see somebody being successful, you never met that person, you never know how they're like. You just see that somebody's thriving and you try to belittle their accomplishment. That says more about you than it does about the person that you're trying to belittle, to be honest with you. That's why I find it fucking hilarious because the people that try so hard to make other people feel bad, they're doing bad themselves. I see it. And it's just crazy to me, man. Because I think a lot. And um, that's why I like doing this podcast. Because this is our first podcast, by the way. So, pretty lit. It's gonna just be by myself for the first podcast, then I'll have some guests on, probably. But, um, we have yet to get my banner, but I do a lot of thinking, man, and I was thinking about it because I like to understand people's brain. I like to understand why people do specific things. I like to know how somebody thinks a certain way and says certain things. And I started thinking about it, and I was like, why would somebody that's never met me before just not like me? Did I do anything wrong? And that's the thing. You never blame yourself because somebody doesn't like you for who you are. It's not your fault. It's more them. And now, obviously, if you do something bad, then obviously people are not going to like you. But that Instagram reel was literally, it's that thing that's going on like all around Instagram. People are like holding their hand up to the camera. It's like, how still is your hand? What do you do? And I was like, let me do mine. Because my hands are not still at all. And I was like, you know what? I've never posted a reel on Instagram before, so why not? And lo and behold, that's the most liked Instagram thing that I've ever posted on Instagram ever by a long shot. At over 100 something likes, 120 something like that, and a lot of people liked it. And I was like, hey, that's crazy, man. One guy goes, "You got a job?" I go, my job is being entertaining on Twitch, lol. And I tell him, now I don't know why he said it in that way, but I tried to educate him. I said, in my opinion, I think it's a fun job to have because it's just fun to be able to do your own thing. Obviously, it's not same stability as a job, and I just try to educate on the matter because maybe one day he wants to become a Twitch streamer. Who knows? And I'll never treat people. Now I look back at it, and obviously he was trying to be malicious, and that's why I have yet to care, and I don't care because whenever I see somebody trying to be malicious towards me, first I'll assume it's ignorance before I get mad. I'll assume that, hey, maybe this person just doesn't know what they're talking about, so I'll try to educate them. And if they keep going, then you realize that they're just trying to be mean to you. So obviously, I educate and I say, hey, this is how I do it. Then he says, how much viewers, or how much money does 30 viewers make? And I don't know why I said 30. My guess is he went to one of my previous VODs and he was like, okay, 30, all right. And then again, I was like, okay, I don't know why he said that. And then I realized later that I was like, oh, he's probably looking at the viewer thing. And I said, it's not really based on viewers. It's more, obviously you can run ads, and the more viewers you have, the more money. But most of the money that you can make as a Twitch streamer is based off subs, bits, and donations. And it goes again. So how much money you make? And again, I don't think it's that's the thing. If you look at everybody trying to be hateful towards you, you're just gonna hate everybody. Because if you're looking for it, you're gonna find it, even when it's not what it is. Somebody can say something that you might think is malicious, but immediately after you snap, or after the fact that that interaction happened, you're gonna realize that, hey, that person wasn't trying to be malicious. They just were ignorant to whatever situation I was in. If we go to any example where someone was being ignorant and you think they're malicious, majority of the time it's just horrible for both parties. It's not only are you mad because you think they're being malicious, they're confused because they are generally, like, they're confused in the first place, and now they're getting treated with disrespect because you were confused. And that's why you have to treat everything with, you have to treat people that might be malicious like they're ignorant, that they don't understand it. Because majority of the time that people say things that they don't mean, or say things that you might think are hurtful, is because they don't understand. So once you get them to understand, that's when you figure out if they're malicious or not, if they're trying to be mean to you or not, or if they were just confused. So again, I educated. I said, he said, how much you make? And I was like, okay, that's very very invasive. But I said, I make enough to where I can pay the amount of bills that I have and buy things that I want. Now, I just said that. I don't think it means nothing of it. It's just, he asked me a question, I answered it. And again, I don't think he's trying to be mean to me until his next comment, which was, so basically nothing, because you don't want to tell me how much you make. And that's when I realized that's more them just trying to be an a-hole than them not fully grasping the situation. So I simply say, well, one, that's very ignorant of you to say, because I probably called him a child. Let me actually look. Let me see exactly what I said, because I did think I called him ignorant at one point. Here we go. He said, how much do you make? And I say, enough to pay the little bills I have and get the things that I want. He goes, so basically nothing is what I'm guessing, because you trying so hard not to actually say it. Okay, so I did call him a child. I did call him a child. So then he said basically nothing. So I just said, you're a child since you don't know social boundaries or privacy. I say, let me educate. You do not ask people how much they make. Because I immediately think when someone says something like that, my guess is they still don't understand. They still don't, okay. So I said, let me educate. You don't tell people how much they make. And I said, I make enough to be happy and not to be insecure to downplay other people's accomplishments on social media. Good day. He keeps going. He keeps going. This is my guy, you play video games as a job. And then he keeps going about how I'm broke. And again, here's the thing. Guys, never, and I mean never ever get emotionally invested into something that is not worth your time. Now, that's why after he said that, he said video games is a job. Which one, he's already wrong there because playing video games as a job is not what I do. Um, I do other things besides video games, but he's calling me broke. So I'll make one more comment because I realize that this guy. Some people, you realize that they just have so much time on their hands. They have so much, uh, they just have so much hate in their heart that they will sacrifice everything, including their time and their efforts and their just everything to make you not feel good. So I just said, I repeated the same thing that I said. I said, I make enough to be happy. I said, I'm not gonna respond or acknowledge your next response or responses if all you're gonna do is tell me about money, because money is not value in life. Money is not the meaning of life, and some people don't understand that. We're gonna segue off this hate thing because I'm kind of tired of talking about it. Because again, I like to educate. I don't like to people. I like to make people learn and make people understand. Why do you look at somebody and instead of wanting them to understand something and want them to learn something, hate them? And that's why, again, I treat people as ignorant instead of malicious, because it always depends on when, though. If they say something and it could be one of two things, like, oh, maybe he doesn't understand, or one, he might be just being a dick, I'm gonna give them benefit of doubt. But if it's 100% chance that they're just being a dick, I'm just not gonna give them my time. But maybe that person really didn't understand. Now, obviously, when they said, you have a job, I kind of was just like, what? And I just educated them on the fact that Twitch can become a job, and Twitch, for me, is my main source of income. But it's just when people are malicious, and I love using the word malicious because I remember a while ago, somebody was saying, I'm not gonna get like personal shit. Someone was saying something to me. It was my cousin, actually, saying stuff, and I really didn't like it. I was telling my mom about it. I was like, I hate that she keeps saying this stuff, and I don't understand why she does it, because it annoys me so much. My mom goes, does she know that it makes you mad? I go, I don't know. And then it kind of like clicked for me. I realized that sometimes people don't know what makes you mad. Sometimes people don't understand you. Sometimes people don't understand what it means to be you, what it means to do things as you, or what things can affect you. And that's a big thing. That's why I try to be kind of open-minded when it comes to everybody. Now, I'll joke about Snowflake. Of course I will. Because in my opinion, I find it funny how you can get offended by something that means so little. Now, obviously, when something can be little to others but big to somebody else. Now, obviously, you just have to keep that in mind. But the thing that there's a difference between somebody being a snowflake and somebody that is genuinely upset about something. Now, here's the thing. When somebody that is genuinely upset, because they're genuinely upset at you because you said something that they did not like, I would most likely think that they are going to talk to you about it, or at least, they're upset, they're not offended. Versus a snowflake, they are more the victim in that situation, to be offended and be like, you are this and that because you said that when somebody is genuinely upset, I feel like they're not being like offended and this and that because they're upset. They're not being, they're not acting the victim. They're expressing their emotion, I feel like. So when I make fun of, let's say, a snowflake, that's not because, and I say snowflake, people can be sensitive. There's a completely difference between being a quote unquote snowflake, as in somebody that gets offended over very little things, versus somebody that is genuinely upset over little things. If you get genuinely upset over something, that is a lot different than looking at something and getting offended by it. Because you already skipped the 3 stages, man. It goes, all right, you're uncomfortable, now you're irritated, and now you're mad or upset, and now you're offended, I feel like. Because if you're uncomfortable, that kind of makes the situation awkward. Getting a little bit annoyed, that kind of makes the situation a little bit more tense. When you are upset or mad, that makes it where it is you versus them. And then when you are offended, that makes it where the person that said that is on the offensive trying to be malicious towards you. That's how I see it. So when somebody is offended, I feel like they already skipped 3 stages. And I feel like the problem though is with social media, you can't see 3 steps. You can't see the 3 previous steps until they're offended and everything's fucked up. Because I find it very hard to be quote unquote awkward behind a screen. How are you awkward behind a screen? Because it's text. It's not your face. It's not your aura. It's not like the feeling that you give off, the vibe that you give off. Because if you're irritated or you're upset, the mood that you give off is very tense, and you make the tension in the air. You make things feel more, I guess, you just kind of make the air around you feel worse, I guess, in a sense. But nobody can see that until they're by you. And that was another thing. How are you gonna hate somebody without shaking their hand, looking them in the eye, feeling their presence? And that's again why people that are freaking, I guess, haters, or people that don't like you for who you are, not what you do, they don't affect me because they have never met me. Why does it matter? And I feel like with those people, again, that's why you don't play their game. And again, I can see people's game, and people's games, what they try to do is they try to belittle your accomplishments. So then you start trying to prove yourself to them. And they go like, oh, that's not that good. And then you respond, oh, well, I did this. Or, oh, I also did this. Or, you're right, it's not that good, but no. The fuck? Why should you accept their belief that your accomplishment was not as good as it really is? Tell me, why is it that because they think that your accomplishment was nothing, that you should believe it too? No, you shouldn't. Now, obviously, you have to be a realist. You have to look at it from both sides. You look at it from, is this accomplishment absolutely worthless, or is this accomplishment literally the best thing in the world? You have to go in the middle. Now, when someone tries to make something worse than it already is, that's just wrong. Because again, when you see somebody that's just wrong and they're trying to argue with you when they're wrong, again, they're not doing it because they think they're right. They're doing it because they want you to feel like you're wrong. They keep doing it because they want you to feel like you are in the wrong side and you are the bad in this situation. Almost every time I've seen somebody trying to be malicious, they're illogical, they don't know how to speak correctly, they're unethical, they just don't know how to respond and be respectful, so they clearly aren't doing it because they think it's a valid argument and they try to have the truth. They just want to tell you a false truth and make you feel worse. They want you to feel like you are not as good as really are. And here's the thing. I have a very confident view on myself because, and I, in my opinion, rightfully should. I've made enough money from my Twitch streams to where I don't have to work because I can pay everything that I've wanted. I can pay the bills that I have, and I can get things that I never could have done if it wasn't for Twitch. Am I proud of myself? Yes, I am. Am I the best streamer in the world? No. But here's the thing. I don't compare myself to other streamers. And I don't wish people to be worse than me. That was another thing. Look at the greatest people ever. For example, sports. One of my favorite, if not my favorite, basketball player of all time, Kobe Bryant. I don't ever, I would bet millions of dollars that he has never once wished failure to another person. He wished somebody else fail. Now, obviously, like I said, there are ill people with ill intentions that are horrible people. Those people wish them worse. But when it comes to another person that you are in a competitive place against, let's say basketball, why do you think Kobe wants them to succeed? Because now he has to work harder to be better than them. And that's another thing. Life, unless it's a specific thing like basketball, football, a sport, a competitive thing, life itself is not a competition. Life is not, you have to be better than somebody else. You have to have more money than somebody else. You have to be this and that than somebody else. You know why? It's all about perspective. Jeff Bezos is probably, oh, actually, I don't know. Elon's getting up there now. One of the technically richest people in the world. Now, obviously, if you want to be technical, because I always see that people say that they invest in companies and they don't have all that money in their bank account. That is very true. But they have so much value as a human being, because if they sold everything that they own, they would be, it's incredible. They're the most valuable person, technically, because the things that they own are incredibly valuable. Now, you look at him and you compare him to somebody that has never been in a place where there's technology, an environment that's isolated from society. You go to, let's say, like some South American country in some village that's never seen technology before, never seen somebody outside of their tribe. Are they happy? Are they happier than Jeff Bezos? Are they happy? Just as happy? I'll tell you what. In my opinion, I would bet that it would be not necessarily that the person that's isolated from society would be happier, but in my opinion, they have so much lower standards when it comes to happiness than everybody else. You know why? Because I remember one of my favorite streamers, Edwin, he was talking about it. And he was saying they're going to be happy and their day's going to be made when they get a fruit off a tree and they eat it. And that's their meal for the day. They're so happy they got to eat that day. Versus, if we go, example, for fucking me. For me. I eat 3 times a day. And if I don't, I'm going to be fucking mad as shit. Because I'll be hungry. But some people will be ecstatic. Their day is made because they ate once. It's insane. And that person is happy. That person's standards for happiness is so much lower than everybody else's. So when you have to realize that just because somebody has everything, somebody has all the money, does that make them happy? Not necessarily. Now that's why when I look at life, I do not look at my bank account and I smile. My happiness is not based on the things that's a number. Why do I have to look at a number for my happiness? The higher it is, the happier I am. No. It's the experience and the journey of life that makes me happy. It's the people I meet. We're all on the same team. Like I said before, we're all humans. We're all people. We're all the same team. Yet, it's the opinion and the entitlement that we have that we cannot accept difference. That's why we are the way we are, as in that's why we have enemies, and that's why we don't like specific people. Now, obviously, I try to accept people, and I try to give people chances, and I try to make people learn, and I try to give people warnings, and I try to help people understand. I try to educate, because the battle will never be finished if you just fight fire with fire. That just creates more fire. If somebody is just so confused on something, and you think they're being malicious, and the way you fight that is you being malicious, that's just gonna make their confusion turn into anger. For example, if I said, okay, let's go off the example of, let's say, okay, my name is Jimmy, all right? Somebody calls me Jim, because they're used to calling everybody Jimmy. Everybody that's named is Jimmy Jim. So they call me Jim. And instead of me saying, hey, would you mind calling me Jimmy, not Jim, I snap back and I'm mad and I get in his face and I'm really mad at him. I never told him a reason. I never told him why I was mad. But all of a sudden, this person has the narrative in his head that I just said something to him and that just made him mad. So I'm not going to talk to that person. Now, obviously, that is a unrealistic example, because no one's going to snap at somebody that calls them Jim instead of Jimmy. But if we go to any topic, whether it be like culture, being of like race, sexuality, gender, all of that, if you treat ignorance as malice, I think that's the right word, malice, yeah. If you treat ignorance as malice, then you're just going to cause more of a problem. You're just going into, instead of educating them, you just get mad at them and you try to hurt them because they don't understand. All you're going to do is just create more problems. And I feel like with most people, again, they're entitled to their opinion, and they're entitled because they don't accept people are different, and sometimes people don't understand. Because people have different perspectives on life. Same thing. If we go to somebody that's in the middle of the jungle, and they, like I said, they're isolated from society, you bring them here, and you go, guy from the village, we're gonna call you, go with Jimmy again. Jimmy, this person right here is depressed. Jimmy's gonna be so confused because he is happy because he found a fruit on a tree. But the guy that's depressed, that lives in a first world country that has everything that he ever needed to live, is sad. He will not understand that. He will not understand that. And some people have that perspective anyway. Some people just go, why can't you just be happy? And people will look at that person and say, I don't know what they'll say. They'll say, they won't. Majority of the time, I don't think they'll even explain it to them why they can't be happy. They'll just try to freaking insult them because they're like, hey, what do you mean? Why can't I be happy? Because who knows? You have to explain it to them. And that's the thing. You should explain it. You shouldn't just yell at them. That's the same thing. And that's why I love teachers. I love people that educate. Because you will never see a teacher just be mad at a student because they have yet to understand something. They will teach them. Now, obviously, have tempers. There can be some teacher with anger issues, and if they are impatient with somebody, yes, they can get mad. But in the experiences that I've had with teachers, they have been patient, and they have, if I never understood something, and I asked a question, they help me understand it. And I'll go back to it. Because we're on the same team, we're all humans. We're all people. And the fact that some people get mad because some of us don't understand things it's just, I don't understand it. But it's a simple thing, man. If we just learn to accept that, hey, we're different, hey, people think differently, hey, if we try to be understanding, that help. But again, we always have to go back. Sometimes there's just people on this earth that have ill intentions, they're ill-minded, they're sick. And they just want evil in the world. How are you going to understand that? Can't, because their way of thinking is poisoned. Their brain is poisoned. Can't understand that because, again, just some people are just fucking crazy, man. But a lot of the times, it's just somebody that doesn't understand. If we go to just anything, man, that's why, one, you gotta give, in my opinion, sometimes a second chance to something. Because, but it all depends on context, it all depends on the situation, man. Like, if you try to shoot somebody, if you try to shoot a police officer, that police officer is not gonna go, hey, but just, hey, but just, let's restart the situation. I'm gonna come up to you again, and instead of trying to shoot me, just put your hands up. That's not a time for a second chance necessarily, because if you're trying to kill somebody, and they're fighting for their life, how are you gonna get a second chance? I feel like that wasn't the best analogy. Again, I just say it depends on the situation. Like, if someone's trying to kill you, you think that they deserve to try again in that situation to not kill you when they already just tried it? Like, if you go back to that situation and you're like, let's do this again because I want to see if it plays out differently. No, in my opinion, you don't want that to happen again because you don't want to die. You don't want a situation that is completely horrible to happen again, or you don't want somebody to have a second chance in that situation. It's situational. But if we go to somebody said the R word in my stream once, and one, I deleted their message. Two, I kindly educated them on why you do not say that word. Did they disagree with me? I guess. Well, they didn't necessarily disagree. They still, I guess, didn't understand because they were like, well, I wasn't using that word in that meaning. And I said, well, that's what that word means. So, you can't use a word that has a specific meaning in another meaning. And even then, saying that word, you just can't say it. I just feel like you can't say that word. Anyway, and same with just a lot of words. You shouldn't just say it because I feel like with words, if you get, obviously, you can get offended over. And that makes 100% sense. Because verbal abuse, verbal, cyberbullying, there's verbal abuse, now just physical, because things that people say can really affect people. Now with me, I am not necessarily grateful, but the plus side of my not necessarily depression, because, well, I am depressed, but it's not, I don't think it fully stems from this, but I just slowly learned an ability is not to give two shits, man. And I guess maybe that's from like the depression numbing feelings, but I just really don't feel that much when someone is truly trying to hurt me. I just don't. And I think not only is it just, I guess, now I'm not necessarily numb, that's not really the best way to put it. I just kind of learned what real sadness is like and what real darkness is. So when people try to put darkness in my head, you can't make it darker than it already is or already was. It's already this dark, you can't make it darker. It just doesn't affect me anymore. And now I don't want to say that, let's say, depression made me better than everybody else, because now I can't give a fuck, but some people can. But I'm just saying, I feel like that's, I guess, the one thing that I've noticed. I try to be self-observant, and I've realized that sometimes just, I just don't care what people say. And sometimes it depends on who says it. If it's somebody close to me and they say something trying to hurt me, or they just say something, sometimes I can hurt. But when it's a complete stranger, that's the thing, man. Things on the outside will never affect me in. It's the things that are already in, meaning myself, friends, and family. That's the things that really. That's the things that are in on the inside. Everything else is on the outside, and you guys cannot come in. No matter how hard you try with your words, with your freaking insults, it won't. That's just how it is. And again, want to be technical. Well, not necessarily technical, but if we want to be, I guess, literal, just it's a fort. It's a fort that I have, that I've placed, and my comfort zone. And actually, no, it's not my comfort zone. It's my bubble, I guess. No one can pop my bubble. The only thing that can pop the bubble is from the inside. So outside things, outside what's the word? Variables won't affect me. I feel like, or most of them, I guess. I guess it depends. But an insult from somebody that I've never met in my entire life, trying to downplay my accomplishments and who I am as a human being, that's not getting in my fort. That's not going in. Now, that's another thing that I want to talk about. There's a difference between knowing your self-worth and I guess there's a difference between knowing how much you're worth and thinking it. Because when you know how much you're worth, I feel like when you're confident in your abilities, it's because you don't compare yourself to other people. That's the thing. People that are, let's say, in my opinion, egotistical and narcissistic, it's because they compare themselves to other people, or people that have not necessarily low self-esteem, but they compare themselves to other people. But I guess people that downplay their own accomplishments, I mean, I guess that's a low self-esteem. And technically, I would know, because at one point, I wouldn't say low self-esteem, but more just like, I kind of felt like I wasn't good enough. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, when you compare yourself to yourself, that's when you know how good you are. If you compare yourself to other people, how are you going to know how good you are? Because all you're looking at is other people. If you just look at other people and think how good you are, that's not going to work. You have to look at yourself. And that's the thing, man, is people get consumed by numbers, because I guess a number is factual, but a number should not dictate who you are, how you feel, or just describe you. That's not what numbers do. A number is a factual statement, I guess, but that's not you. You are not a number. Money in bank account. Man, that doesn't show you who I am. Number of sub. You can go with Twitch too. Number of subs, number of viewers. That shit don't matter. That's the thing. When people look at numbers and say that's your accomplishment, no, the fuck it's not. No, it is not. Twitch, the accomplishment that I've made from Twitch, the two biggest ones, obviously financially, but I have made so many friends, so many people I've met through this, and so many experiences that I've had that were such nice experiences, and I've met so many good people that it does not matter how much money is in my bank account. Because one thing that you can take away from me is my money. One thing you cannot take away from me, the memories that I've had, that I have created. One thing that you can, I guess, yeah, you can't take money necessarily. Not necessarily because you're not gonna fucking rob me, but what if that money wasn't in the bank account? What then? Alright, you have all this money in your bank account. Just like that, it's gone. Snap a finger, is gone. What now? Now, obviously, I'm saying if your lifestyle is changed because of your money, you're still gonna, what, not be happy? Because you're already not happy because all you do is care about that number. If I had less money in my bank account than I did right now, I would still be happy. You know why? Because I would still be streaming on my PlayStation 4, having a great time meeting new people, and having the time of my life. Now, obviously, like I said, financial part was a big part of my Twitch success because I went from PlayStation to Space Station. Went to this fucking whole thing, man. But it's the fact that one thing you can't take away from me is the memories that I created and the people that I've met. Now, like I said, it's just a number, man. And sometimes we create false numbers. We create things like fake friends, man. I'll never understand those people that they're quote unquote the popular kids, and they don't have a real friend. They have 30, 40, 50 people that they hang out with at a party, or they have all these people they invite to a party. They don't emotionally attach to these people. And when I mean emotionally attached, that does not mean in a relationship, girlfriend and boyfriend. That means that you do not see that person eye to eye and just human to human. You just see them as a other object at your party, another thing to boost your popular status. That's not what a friend is. A friend is somebody that you can trust, that you can talk to, and a person that you can honestly just confide in. You can share heart to heart, I guess. And again, heart to heart does not mean you have to be, girlfriend and boyfriend. It just means that you as humans can express your feelings to each other and not have to just worry about them being fake. That's what a friend is. And a real friend is gonna let you do that. And obviously nowadays I feel like me myself, just recently, and only to necessarily one friend in real life have I actually talked about my feelings with. One. And not only is that because I feel like nowadays, and I say nowadays, I mean forever. That's just how society is. And here's the thing. As much as I want to blame society, it's also our fault. Now, obviously, I can't. It's both things, man. Men can't share their feelings. Men's love. Who was it? Chris Rock that said it. It was, children, women, dogs, animals are the only things on this earth that can be loved unconditionally. A man will be loved on the condition of how much he provides. I was thinking about that. That was crazy. And I've seen a lot of things, man. I've seen, like, you know, there was two siblings. One was a girl, one was a boy. The boy went up to the girl, and she was like, and he was like, "Why do you have money all the time and I don't?" And the girl said, "Well, that's simple. I have a boyfriend and you have a girlfriend. Because we're supposed to give, apparently." Now, obviously, that is just a stereotype. But is that stereotype mostly true? Yes. Because that's the stereotype, it's the whole thing. We got to pay for the dinner because y'all pay for the makeup. Yet, I never asked for your makeup. But that's just how I want to look, not for you. Alright, well, tell us that when you're doing those fucking thirst trap TikToks, that it's not about attention, it's about you making yourself feel good. That's the thing, man. It's hypocritical. Now, everyone's hypocritical at one point in time because we always have an agenda that we abide by, and obviously, always at one point in time, we will not go over that agenda, including myself. Like I told you at this probably start, I said I try to treat people that are trying to be malicious, I treat them as ignorant. Sometimes I'm just like, fuck you, and I just say fuck you. I don't actually try to help them understand. Because sometimes I'm just not in the mood for it. As much as I try to, sometimes it's just can't. And but the thing is, you have to try at least. You have to at least try, man. Because same thing with now, like, again, it's like with this thing, man. And can't express their feelings. Okay. Now I always see people on TikTok. I don't even have TikTok. It's like usually I'm on Instagram and someone reposts it from TikTok, and it's like, well, why don't you share your feelings? And it's some girl. It's like, why don't you share your feelings? Because we don't feel like it's that important, even though it is. But that's the thing. You gotta try. If you are a woman, or even if you're a man, go to a male friend and just try to talk to them about feelings. And obviously, my guess is that they probably won't open up. But here's the thing, you do not go up to them and ask them, how do you feel? That's not how that works. You know why? Because we always say we're fine. But, like, not guarantee 99% of the time you ask a guy who's feeling, I'm doing all right, just tired, or is this going? It's going. It's okay. No, you don't ask them. You ask them. Let's talk about things that's been going on, and again, even with me, man, when I started doing therapy and shit, that shit was so uncomfortable because I wasn't used to it. I wasn't used to just talking about myself like that, talking about how I feel. But I realized after doing it, I felt better. Now, that's the thing. You gotta get out of your comfort zone. You gotta get out of your comfort zone because, like I said before, that I was so used to not talking about it, I just didn't know what to do, and I felt uncomfortable at first. But you have to try. You have to try to express yourself, and I say it, and I'll say it more. You gotta express yourself. You gotta talk about your problems because you just bunch them up inside, it's only gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. Because that darkness is just gonna fill you up, and it's not gonna be fun. You gotta let it out somehow, whether it be something. I feel like sports can help a little bit, but the problem with sports is there's always that with testosterone. I feel like it comes with a like anger factor sometimes. You can get competitive, you can get testosterone overload and get extremely, not necessarily angry, but just extremely, just, I don't know, just a certain sensation, and you're just mad, I guess, and I don't know, you gotta not only express yourself through a way that, like, physically, emotionally, mentally. And y'all know I work out and shit. You know what I also do? I write poems. I like to draw. I like to color. What? And with that is a form of expression. It's a form of getting my feelings out through writing on a piece of paper. Whether it doesn't have to say that I'm sad, it can be a story, and that story represents how I'm feeling. And it doesn't even have to make sense. I made one, it was called Key, and it was about piano keys, how it can also be I guess, a metaphor as actual keys to doors. And that, I felt so nice about that. Same with meditation, man. Now, I'm not real big into spiritual stuff, but to clear the mind, that's something that you have to do. To be able to clear your mind and just clear everything of hate. Because hatred is always what leads to horrible things. Now, we always say money is the root of all evil. And I can definitely say that can be true. It can be true. Because like I said, same with that person that comments in my Instagram that apparently I'm quote unquote broke. Now, one, do I need to defend myself to that person? No, I don't. I don't need to defend myself. Because why should I? Now, again, before, I just thought he was being ignorant. He said how much money you make, and I just said enough to basically live comfortably. Then he went to call me broke, and then I just stated it again. I make enough to live comfortably. So sometimes people just are wrong, and sometimes you kind of just gotta realize that. My mind went blank for a little bit. You gotta realize that, hey, sometimes you just gotta do you, man. You gotta express yourself, and here's the thing, you can't express yourself through money. Now here's the thing, man. People always have that argument. Money can't buy you happiness. What does that mean? Money cannot buy happiness. And in the way I see it is what that means exactly is that the more money that you have, the more happiness that you can buy. Is that how that works? Not necessarily. Because again, let's go back to perspective. That person that's isolated, that all they want is that fruit on that fruit tree, and they get it, and they're happy for that entire day, that person is a lot more happier than the person that has hundreds of thousands of dollars, but he just wants more, and he gets greedy, and he gets jealous, and all this and that. Money does not equate to more happiness necessarily. Because you have to look at it in a perspective. You have to look at it from a specific viewpoint. That's why with me right now, alright, that guy can call me broke. Am I broke? No. But if I was rich, would I be the same? Would I still be the same as in happiness? Would my happiness stay the same? Probably. You know why? Because I realize where I am right now is a good spot for me. And I realize with me that I enjoy what I have. And I am happy. I enjoy the things that I've acquired and the things that were given to me by life. So I'm happy. It's perspective. Sometimes people are happy because they see a fruit on a tree. And that's what life gave them, and they are happy for it. Versus if you have all this money, millions of dollars, it doesn't have to be 100,000, it could be millions. But you are not content. And well, content is not necessarily the right word. You are not happy with what you have. Now, here's the thing. There's a difference between being happy with what you have and striving for more. Or striving for more and being ungrateful with what you have. Now, here's the thing. You can be grateful with what you have, but there's also a possibility to do better. Now, when you are not grateful for what you have, and you're like, I'm mad with what I have because I don't have the same as that guy. That's jealousy right there. You look at somebody succeed doing better than you cannot be mad at them. The person you can be mad at is yourself, because you are not working as hard as them. You're not as working as smart as them. Or you're not doing the same thing. That's the thing. If I had $1 million and I'm in a business and somebody else has $2 million, I'm not gonna look at that person and hate them because of the material thing that they have. You know why? Because I'm happy where I am. And again, once you learn how to accept yourself, you are gonna learn how to accept other people. If you cannot treat yourself with respect, you're not going to treat others with respect. If you can't respect yourself, how are you going to respect other people? If you are not grateful with what you have, how are you going to be grateful to other people, to the opportunities given to you, or to be at least, I guess, necessarily happy for other people? If you're not happy with what you have, how are you going to be happy for other people? It's all about perspective. Now, you can always say somebody has it worse, necessarily. Who has it the absolute worst? When somebody has the absolute worst, we gotta find them and talk to them, man. Somebody that is living the absolute worst. Somebody that's starving. Somebody has disease that's uncurable. Somebody that, no matter what, they have limited days to walk on this earth because of something that they cannot control. Because they are this and that. It can be anything. Find them and see how they deal with it. And you realize they accept it. They accept it. And when you learn to accept things for what they are, it probably gets a lot easier, man. And that, not only does that help for yourself, it helps for the people around you. Somebody's struggling with something and you want to help them. Let's use depression as an example. Me. Let's use fucking me. I have depression. My mom was incredibly, I guess, confused and upset because she didn't know what to do. But slowly she started to accept the fact that it is something that I will live with, and it can be, it does not mean that I'm gonna, always be sad, always be mad, but I can deal with it throughout life, and it's not something that can necessarily be curable, but it can be treated. And as much as she can try, she cannot cure it. In my opinion, there's no cure. Difference between cure and being treated. Treated makes it better, cure makes it stop. And because at the start, they try to find how to fix it, but you can't. You can't, in my opinion. You can make it better, you cannot make it stop, like I just said. But when they slowly accept that, it got a lot easier to talk to her about depression, emotion. Because she accepted, hey, it's something that he has to deal with. And again, if you get someone to understand and accept a specific circumstance, it'll make it a lot smoother. And that's why, let's go right back around, shall we? When somebody understands a specific topic, that makes it easier to communicate. That's why, again, if you think someone's being malicious and you just be malicious back, that is not a conversation. That is two idiots screaming at each other. Versus somebody, it's not two idiots screaming at each other. It's you being an idiot screaming at somebody that has no idea what they're talking about. versus somebody that's being malicious or being ignorant that you think they're being malicious, and you help them understand, and when they do understand, either one, they're just a horrible human being and they will continue to be malicious, or they understand and you can actually have a reasonable conversation. And when you realize that people can understand things, that's the thing, people are so, they don't have the time to make people understand. It's either you get it or you don't, and if you don't get it, then you don't say anything. And they don't want people to understand. It's either you're with or against. But hey, sometimes they don't understand what the whole situation is. And it can be with anything, man. It can be with the feminist movement. I mean, what does that mean? Feminism at this point. Because you look on Twitter, there's people on Twitter that say feminism means kill all men. Feminism means take out all men of power and put women in place. Put women on a pedestal and men down. And some people's version of feminism is, or some people hate feminism because they're like, well, we want men to succeed and this and that. The real, in my opinion, the real thing that feminism should be is equality. But here's the thing. I've said it on Twitter. I said there's a difference between being equal and being the same. We are not the same. Like I said, we are on the same team, but we are not the same player. All right? We're on Team Human. Are we this? We are all different, though. We are all different, but we're on the same team. And the fact that some people cannot accept that people are different, that is where everything goes to shit. That you can't accept somebody for who they are. And obviously, there's so many things that can, like, you know, that make people, like, you know, someone that's extremely has a structured perspective on life because they grew up in a specific belief. They can't I guess accept the fact that somebody likes a specific gender or something, because they just can't accept it. But does that make them a horrible person? Does that make them a horrible person because they do not know how to accept somebody else? In my opinion, no, it does not. In my opinion, if you cannot accept somebody, that is not because you are in and of itself a horrible person. It is because the way you have a perspective on life is just so, it's ignorance, man. It's not a and of course there's ill-intentioned people. You are some hardcore like person that has some serious beliefs, and you try to like kill somebody that's against your beliefs. That crazy. There's a difference between, you know, anybody, for example, man. Use my brother. My brother, half brother. He's religious, he's Christian, and he isn't the most open-minded when it comes to whether it can be anything, man. It could be, well, not anything. I'm just acceptance, really. Does that make him a horrible human being? In my opinion, no. It does not. It just means that it is hard for him to accept things because based on his structured perspective and the way that he looks at things. So you have to look at somebody and realize that sometimes it, again, not because they are so like horrible and they're always malicious. Sometimes you got to look at it and be like, maybe they don't understand. Now, again, some people have so structured beliefs that you cannot convince them or make them understand. But the thing is, that's with everything. Sometimes you can't convince somebody. Just like you cannot convince me that my accomplishments are worth less than what they actually are. You cannot. And again, and I've said this, and I'm going to say it again because some people don't really understand me when I say this, because I said or somebody asks me, you support LGBT? And number one, I support everybody. I don't care if you're gay, I don't care if you're straight, bisexual, trans, rich, poor, fat, skinny, anything. You are a good person. Then you are a good person. That's how that works. Now, obviously, if let's say if you're gay and you're nice to me, you are a great person. I love you. Versus if you are gay and you're a dick to me, it's a dick. I really feel like that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you want to fuck. It doesn't matter if you are a nice person or a good person. That's when it matters. It shouldn't matter. But people care about it so much. I treat everybody the same, and the only thing that affects how I treat people is based on how they treat me. It's that simple. So if you want to be literal, yes, obviously I support LGBT. Don't know my psychiatrist. He is gay. My therapist, I believe, might be bisexual. It's not but here's the thing, it does not matter to me what your sexuality is. It is because you are a good person on why I am friends with you, or a good person on how I treat you. And that's another thing. People are so quick to make an assumption that they don't even look at things. Like I said, let's go back to what I was saying because I kind of went a tiny bit off topic. Yes, I do support the LGBT. But here's the thing. If you are a dick to me, I don't really give a shit if you're gay or not. Because you're being a dick to me. Same thing. I don't care if you're straight or not. If you're a dick to me, you're a dick. I don't care what the fuck you are. You're being mean to me, why? You jerk. Like, I feel like it shouldn't matter. And here's the thing. Like I said, I try to treat everybody the same. I treat y'all as individuals. That's why it doesn't matter to me your sexuality, your gender, the way you look, how you feel, I guess. Because I treat y'all as individuals, man. And that's the thing. If you are over here trying to tell me that just because somebody is a specific thing, that I should treat them a specific way, that, in my opinion, is part of the problem. That's part of the problem. Alright, now let's say, for example, okay, with me. I'm a dude, alright? Because I'm a dude, are people gonna treat me the same way as if they treated me as if I was a woman? Let's think about that. Let's say I was born a woman, right? I wasn't Anthony, I was Anthena. I was Anthena. Will people treat me the same way? We'll never know. You have no clue. But here's the thing. If there's Joe and there is Amelia, they're both nice people. They're nice people. I'll treat them nice. If Joe is a dick and Amelia's a nice person, I'm gonna be nice to Amelia. And if Joe tries to argue with me, I'm gonna say fuck off. What am I? What am I in that situation? Am I being fair? I would think so. And then let's switch it around. What if Amelia was being mean to me and Joe was being nice? Is that fair? That if someone's being mean to me and I'll tell them to fuck off, does it matter their gender or their race or their sexuality? At that point in time, in my opinion, it shouldn't. Because it does not matter to me. That's the thing. If you discriminate over somebody because of that thing, that's horrible. That's that's not even child, it's ignorant, because children don't do that shit. I don't know any child that does that. It's just ignorance, man. So, in my opinion, it shouldn't matter at that point in time, that's the thing. You cannot act like a victim if you are being mean to people. If someone, like, again, if you're being mean to people and someone says, tell you to fuck off, they did not tell you to fuck off because you are this, because you are that, because you are this gender, that gender. It's because you're being mean. Okay? Now, obviously, like I said before, sometimes people will say fuck off because you are a specific thing that they do not agree with and they cannot accept. But comes to at least me, I treat people as individuals. I treat them as humans. I don't give a shit what you are. And that's the thing. When I say I don't give a shit, that does not mean that it's not necessarily important, but it does not affect the way that I see you as an individual. If you are, like I said, if you are white, if you are black, if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're anything, man, it does not affect the way I view you as an individual, because I will treat you the same. Now, here's the other thing. Do I treat different people differently? Yes. Not because they are this or that. It's because they're different people. Chat, if I said chat like I'm streaming. Let's say somebody, they're introverted and they don't like energetic stuff and they more like quiet one-on-one conversation. Okay? And I'm friends with that person. Am I gonna act all energetic around them? No. I'm gonna act to at least be so they can be comfortable. And let's say there's somebody that's energetic. Am I gonna act the opposite with them? No. But here's the thing, man. With me, I feel like I'm in the middle of everything, man. I'm both. I'm introverted, extroverted. I like this. I like everything, man. And that's not necessarily a problem, but I've yet to find somebody that likes the amount of things that are so different that I do. Or like I do. The variety. I've like, and I'm more, and not necessarily like the same things, because if you just get a carbon copy yourself as a friend, I guess as a friend it might help, but you cannot have a partner that likes the exact same thing as you, because that's gonna get old real fast. But I've yet to meet somebody with the same amount of variety that likes to do so many different things. Because most of the time, people have their own little field, you know? Or they have a little basket. They're like, alright, let me pick one thing. From here, that's a sport. Alright, I like football. Then they go across the garden of life, and they're like, okay, I like this one too. Pick that out, and that says math. Alright, they like math and football. They go around, they pick some stuff, and that's what they like, and that's in their basket. With me, I just take the entire garden at this point. I like, I feel like there's been not necessarily one thing that I have seen that I haven't either one tried or one looked at and said I will not like that. Unless it's like extremely obvious. Like if let's say I go to, let's say, like a fucking lab and I see that's a boiling pot of acid, I'm not gonna be like, well, we gotta try it. No. But like if it's, man, like roller coasters. At one point I never went on a roller coaster. I was like, let's fucking do it. Did I love it? Oh yes I did. Poems. I was like, you know what? Let me try to make a poem. I say, you know what? Let me try the piano. I say, you know what? Let me try to draw. You know what? Let me try to write a book. You know what? Let me try to sing. And not necessarily become like a fucking rapper or anything. Just sing. Why not? Let me sing. And I enjoy it. Or why not try dancing? And I danced. And I have fun dancing. Why not like animals? And I love animals. Now, obviously, people have their specific, you know, things that they really like. With me, that's being animals. But I love so many things: chemistry, sports, literature, fucking streaming, gaming, talking, kind of everything. Like fitness, man. It's just I like doing everything. So what was that called? A jack of all trades is a master of none, but is better than a master of one. Jack of all trades is a master of none, but is better than a master of one. What does that mean? They like everything, but they have get to master one of them. They're better than somebody that's just good at one thing. Because, yo, my mom called them cardboard people because they're so fucking superficial and just 2D. They just don't have depth to them because they only like doing one thing with their life and they don't think about shit. They just do. You gotta think, man. I feel like everybody in life has to think. If you don't know how to think about shit, I mean, we've spent millions of years evolving. The fact that some of y'all don't even fucking gift that we have called a brain and knowledge, the ability to learn, it's just crazy to me. Some people look at us and go, well, shit, I don't want to learn a new thing. I don't want to use the thing that was given to me. You could have been, you want to use an example, one of my favorite animals, caiman. Caiman is a mini crocodile. You know how big their brain is? About the size of a walnut, if not smaller. A walnut. You know how big our brain is? A lot fucking bigger than a walnut. And we have this thing. The fact that you don't even want to use it, you're just fucking flipping off of evolution. You say, you gave me something, I'm not grateful for it. Because sometimes there's people that don't want to learn in life. There's people that don't want to try new things. There's people that they don't know how to evolve and get out of their comfort zone. And that's the thing with me. I'm trying to make everything my comfort zone, where I can be comfortable doing everything. Chemistry, fitness, fucking sports, literature, everything. Streaming, tech shit. I love everything. And so it's a fun experience for me when it's doing that. And that's the thing. But what happens when everything is in your comfort zone? Hypothetically, because that's never going to happen. There's always something new to do. But at that point, if everything is in your comfort zone, life is going to be boring. Life would be so boring because you have no more things to do. You got no more things. You got no more things to do because everything is comfortable. You don't have that feeling of like, let me try something new. And I swear, there's guaranteed every single person has that feeling. They want to do something, but they are afraid to do it. Now, it can depend on what it is. If you are afraid of robbing a bank, that's good. You shouldn't fucking do it. But if you're afraid of doing something that really is like something that will benefit you, but you are afraid that it won't be good for you, then sometimes you just gotta fucking do it, man. And with me, actually talking to my psychiatrist about it, that's funny. I'm actually going to get out of my comfort zone relatively soon. Talk about shit that I've yet to talk about with y'all. I feel like I'm gonna do that soon. Once I'm ready, I definitely want to talk about things outside my comfort zone. But you're just afraid, man. But that's the thing. You have to think about it, not only that fear. You have to look at the logic behind it. Chat. I said chat again. I'm gonna call y'all chat. People that are watching, what's something that you are thinking about that you want to do, you want to accomplish, that requires you to get out of your comfort zone? All right. Now think about it. Number one, what is stopping you from doing it? And number two, if you do it, what is the worst scenario that can happen? What is it? And what is stopping you? And figure out how to get around that. Because here's the thing. When you look at the situation that you are in and you are trying to get to a goal, you're not looking at the obstacle, you're not going to get to that goal because you are afraid of that obstacle. But you are not looking at that obstacle. You're looking at the end. If there's, like, let's say, you want to get to the top of the mountain, but you are afraid. Because that mountain is so big. But the thing that you are not looking at is that first step. That first step to get up that mountain. You look at the first step, and then the second step. Third, fourth, so on, until you reach the top of that mountain. But you decided to look at the mountain as a whole, and not the individual step that you have to take. That's the thing. You look at the thing individually, and you realize things, and you think about it logically. What is clearly stopping you? The littlest thing that's currently stopping you from doing it. Hey, you get rid of that. You get rid of the next thing, next time. Next thing you know, you are outside of your comfort zone doing the thing that you were previously afraid to do. And it's fear. The main thing is fear. And as much as we would like to think that we are fearless, we are a scared species. Because not only are we afraid of things that might happen, we're afraid of things that have already happened. And we don't want it to happen again. We are already afraid of fucking how somebody will treat us if I do a specific thing or this and that. How society will treat me. And it's a learning experience. You slowly learn, man. You slowly learn not to give a fuck. You learn that sometimes things are for you, not for others. Because people will always make assumptions and will always question you no matter what you do. So it's better to be you and be yourself and be authentic and do things your fucking way. Get outside of your comfort zone. And still have people question you. People will always question you, no matter what. So it's either you don't get out of your comfort zone and be you, and people will still question you, or you get outside your comfort zone and do things that make you happy, and people will still question you. The choice is really yours. And the thing is, you have to figure out what you want to do. And that's the thing. Do things that make you happy. Okay? Do things that make you happy. It does not, your thing that makes you happy should not be a debate on how others will treat you. Because if you are happy, it shouldn't matter. Now, obviously, if people treat you shitty and you're happy, you might not be happy anymore. But if you become happy and the only thing that's stopping you is how you think other people will treat you, here's the thing. Those people are not entitled to make you feel worse. That's the thing. The battle isn't other people. It's majority of the time yourself. Think something's gonna happen. You realize, shit, that didn't happen. Or it wasn't as bad. Or I know how to deal with this now. Or, oh, they understood. Or it could be anything. And obviously, sometimes bad things do happen. But when you become yourself, you realize that, hey, now I'm myself. Now I took one step out the door. And now I'm already ready. It's just the fear that we have as people to be affected by other people. Because things that affect us, the main thing I feel like, again, is other people. But the real battle is with ourselves. Because, like I said, man, that fucking real guy on Instagram, I want to make a emote of him. Well, I don't know what he looks like, but what was his name? It was like, oh, Gems of SoundCloud. That shit, Gems of SoundCloud? Alright, buddy. Good for you. That shit's still funny to me, because somebody today in my stream, you can set a specific username as when people donate to you from PayPal, they can set your username as anything they want. So somebody put Gems of SoundCloud and donated $50, and I was laughing my ass off. That shit was funny as hell. But that guy, Gems of SoundCloud, he does not affect who I am. He does not make me feel worse as a person. It's me who can make myself do that. But here's the thing. I know I accept myself. So that guy, he won't do shit. But that's the thing. When people insult you, that's only because they can't accept themselves and realize that people are different. When people think that they don't know how to treat other people, they don't know how to treat themselves. That's the thing, man. You gotta... Self-care is such a big thing that we overlook as people. That's one of the most important things. Take care of yourself. That's the thing. We're like, I've said it a million fucking times in this podcast. We are on the same team. We are humans. That Gem of SoundCloud guy, I don't get why he tries so hard to make me feel like my accomplishments sucked ass. Because one, they don't. Number two, we're on the same team. And that just makes my faith for him as a human being. He's not a human. It's not a human. You know why? Because we're not on the same team. I'm on team human. So therefore you're on team, I don't fucking know. Team hatred. You're on team evil. Team hate. All you do is hate. You're not on the human side. We're humans, man. Why do we have to hate each other? Exactly. There's no point. Now, obviously, let me tell you why. Differences. Obviously, there's horrible people in this world. But when it comes to two people who never met each other, but just because some person doesn't know how to accept a difference or treat other people, then why should I hate him? I don't hate him. That's all. Fuck off. Basically, yeah. Do I hate him? No. I would love to have a conversation with him and get his thinking. Same another thing, man. There was a person, they were some, I forgot if they like played Fortnite or some shit, but some person said, or what they said was, they said, I hope people won't treat me differently based on the next tweet that I make. And everybody in the comments was like, oh, we will support you no matter what. And then he just goes, I don't like gay people. And I was like, well, damn. Those people probably gonna take that shit back. But I commented, I said, can you care to elaborate? I don't understand why. And you know what that person said? They did not tell me why. Instead, they felt offended and said, why am I not allowed to have my own opinion? I said, I'm in, again, this is some Fortnite kid. So or Fortnite player, so they clearly don't know how to speak. I'm kidding. Like, as much as I make fun of people that play Fortnite, there's a lot of great people that play Fortnite, man. Like me, I play Fortnite. So, like, I'm just saying, I find is a stereotype that most people that play Fortnite are children, and I guess it's the same with, I guess, what is it? Fucking cars. Everybody we don't say car girls, we say car guys and horse girls. We don't say horse guys. It's not a fucking thing. Because 99% of the people that work on fucking cars are dudes. So, it's like, I guess it's a true stereotype. Is it offensive? Depends. Cause I guess anything can be negative if you use it in a negative connotation. Because apparently Twitch streaming, which is in my opinion, that's a great career to have to play video games and make money. apparently to that the gems of SoundCloud dot fucking com. He tried to use it as an insult because I play video games as a job. Okay. That's clearly that you just don't know how to really. That's just true hate. That's not that's an illogical response because you're just being a dick. But I was saying, oh yeah, it was a Fortnite kid. He was an idiot. No, it was some person that, in my opinion, they had extreme, narrow views because instead of explaining to me why they did not like it, they simply just said, "Why am I not allowed to have my own opinion as a person?" I said, "That is not what I said. I asked for you to elaborate on your opinion because I want to look at both sides without immediately siding on one side without looking at the other because that is called ignorance." And then he didn't respond. Then he didn't respond. I mean, hey, ignorance. What's that term? Ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is about a bitch. That's what they should say. It's not ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is about a bitch. You know why? Because everybody's ignorant in some way. Now, obviously, what that term means, ignorance is bliss, it means things that you don't know about going on in the world. And you know how cool it is that somebody that's in the middle of fucking nowhere in like the Amazon rainforest that all they care about is a fruit does not know about the political structure of the United States of America. They do not know the type of shit going on here. That is bliss right fucking there. You know how glad I would be if I didn't know politics existed? Holy shit. I would be so happy. And not like I don't give a shit about politics. It's just the people that care that is so emotional. That's the thing. If you're emotionally invested in something so much to the point where you obsess over it and that's your whole personality, I just feel like that's more of a deception, obsession than a characteristic. Okay, example, like I don't want to get political on this fucking podcast, but I can. Example, if you are a Republican, good for you. But that is a characteristic. That is a adjective. That is not a noun. That is a way to describe you, I guess. Something to put on a list that says, Jimmy is what? Is kind, he's caring, he's a Republican. It's not necessarily a characteristic, but it's at least just something that I guess can help define you, I guess, as a part of who you are. Really, that's more sexuality than anything. Being gay is a part of who you are. It's not you. That's the thing. If you obsess over a specific thing, like, and that's the thing, man. I don't really give a shit what you are. Again, Republican, Democrat, I don't care. But if you obsess over that, making it your personality that you are a Democrat or a Republican or you're a liberal or you are this and that and this and that, it shouldn't fucking matter. And that goes the same with anything, whether it be politics, whether it be financial. The people that are obsessed with crypto shit is funny as fuck. Dude, I know people that invest in the stock market. Is that their personality? No. You do not go up to somebody and you're like, "Hi, my name," I don't go, "Hi, my name is Anthony and I am a crypto investor." That's not who the fuck I am. Unless it's like some fucking micro penis convention where you're like, "All right, shake hands and tell each other what you do." Okay. No. No one does that. That's the thing. People that I get, it's not necessarily insecurities, but sometimes people are not confident about things. So they just say things. But that is one part about, that was actually something that I found incredibly interesting. That in what was it? It was a therapeutic way for alcoholics to accept who they are is they say, "Hello, my name is blank and I am an alcoholic." And they slowly accept and come to terms that they're an alcoholic and they need to stop drinking alcohol. Because if you just negate the fact that you're an alcoholic, the problem will remain. But that's a lot different than saying things that you are I guess just like things that you fucking that you like obsess over. That's the thing. Thing with alcoholics is they obsess over alcohol and they slowly come to terms with that. They are obsessed over it and then they beat it. But here's the thing. Well, actually, no, I can't even say that. Can't beat it. I know people that are alcoholics. One of my favorite streamers, used to be one, and I mean, and he just said he's probably not gonna try to have another drink for the rest of his fucking life because that addiction is technically still there. His brain still wants that craving, and he said if he's not gonna try to have one because oh, what the hell? That craving is gonna come back. Luckily, that was not copyright music. Otherwise, I would have just fucking died. And the past hour and 35 minutes would have been like, copyright strike. No. Um, but like, you come to terms with that, and then you just accept it and you deal with it. That's the thing, man. So when somebody is so obsessed with something, and they're like, when they're obsessed with it, and all they do is talk about it, I don't think they're trying to come to terms with it. I think they're just so obsessed it turns into a sickness. Whether it be politics, whether it be fucking anything, man. Talking too much about anything. I mean, it depends on what it is, I feel like. I mean, even then, man. It can be anything. Dude. Gems of SoundCloud probably talks about music too much, and now he's entitled to his own opinion because he thinks he knows the best music. I'm gonna bring that guy up so much. I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I feel like obsession can be a scary thing, man. And obsession, I feel like is I don't know, because I feel like anybody can, not necessarily anybody can be obsessed with anything, but I actually want to know how. How does that work? And I've talked to people and they say they have an addictive personality, and that's why they become an addict, whether it be drugs, alcohol, it can be anything. It can be candy, it can be me. People like they're obsessed with being manipulated, and they're addicted to being abused or being an abuser. And I want to know how that works. I want to know the brain and like how that works. And here's the thing. With me, I don't know. I've never drank alcohol. I've never tried fucking drugs. But I would not like to find out. Because that's the thing, man. You can have fun and you do not need to do drugs. You can have fun, you don't need to do alcohol. You can have fun, you don't need to go to some party where there's a bunch of fucking people fucking each other getting STDs. That's not fun, that's just too much bumps on your dick. Especially with those fucking shitty ass college parties, everyone's fucking the same person. That's probably not fun. But again, maybe that's why I don't get invited to parties and I've yet to have a girlfriend, because I like things like going to the zoo and talking about stuff instead of fucking drinking and doing cocaine. Woo! No, I don't like that shit. I don't know, man. Again, it's a difference thing. Peer pressure is weird because that's the thing. Sometimes people don't understand difference. And that's why I'm grateful for the friends that I have right now. I used to have some stupid friends. Friends I have now, not gonna peer pressure me. Alright, one, they don't do any drugs or alcohol or any of that shit. But here's how this works. If there's something that we're talking about doing, and let's say one of us is hesitant on doing it, either one of us is immediately gonna be like, hey, we don't gotta do it. We don't have to if you don't want to. And sometimes we don't do that thing because one of us doesn't want to. It's that simple. Like, I have a friend, y'all have seen him on stream before. like we can, like, it doesn't matter what it is. He'll be like, hey, you want to go to the pool? We get a neighborhood pool, and I'll be like, I mean, I don't really care, but it's up to you. And he's like, well, I mean, it doesn't matter to me, and if you don't want to go, we can stay in here for a bit. And I'll be like, all right, we can stay in here for a bit, then we go to the pool. So we're both happy. We don't get peer pressured into dumb shit that we're not comfortable in. And obviously, the pool is not something that I'll be uncomfortable in, but even if it's like a party or some shit, dude, if my friend invited me to a party and he's like, hey, this probably isn't the, I mean, like, you want to come? I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to, and obviously, socially, blah, blah, and I'll be lit. But that's the thing, man. You get a friend that understands you. You get a friend that can see you eye to eye, man. And that's why I like talking to people, friend, about, like, emotion, man, because if nobody knows how I'm feeling, then how are they going to understand why I'm feeling that way? Or if nobody knows how I'm feeling, how are they going to understand my emotions? So if you straight up talk to your friends about emotions, man, I mean, shit. I mean, I guess, hey, you talk to your friends about emotion, they are going to understand you better, in my opinion. Again, example, man, there's so many examples I have. I should be those people that make analogies and shit. Example. Again, y'all know, I was talking about my friend and playing this game that apparently, if you have depression, it can fuck with your head. My friend knows I have depression. He goes, hey, you don't have to play this game if you don't want to, and it's 100% fine. He didn't try to peer pressure me. Oh, you just a pussy. No. Like, that's the thing, man. I'll never understand peer pressure, because peer pressure is just dumb as shit. I don't understand it. How are you, as a person, wanting to make somebody uncomfortable for the benefit of yourself? Huh? The fuck? You want somebody to be doing something that you're doing even though they're uncomfortable? No, thank you. And sometimes, I mean, peer pressure can necessarily sometimes be a good thing. If they're trying to pressure you into working hard, and technically I peer pressured people into working out, and they worked out and they lost weight and it was a great time. But that's the thing, man. Pressure should only be applied when it has something to do with hard work and for succeeding. Peer pressure should be a thing, man. Does it apply to me anymore? Fuck no. You try to give me, like, fucking alcohol, I'll say, fuck you, no. Try to pressure me, like, working out more? Fuck yeah. Want people to exceed. Again, we're on the same team, man. Let me get a drink of water. I've been talking for an hour 45 and no water. But it's, again, some people just, and again, I guess it's an ignorance thing, because if someone's trying to give you weed or give you drugs or give you something that can honestly, at a young age, really fuck up your life, are they doing it because they want because they want to ruin your life? No, because they're ignorant and they're like, oh shit, I found some weed. I guess this is cool. Let me show it to my friend. But that can really fuck up people. And sometimes people can be just fucked up and manipulate you and give you a extremely addicting drug, and now they just got a new customer. People do that shit. Manipulation is crazy, man. Who's that bit? Dalia Dipolito. He marries somebody. Manipulation. Not only it's crazy because we never know what's going on in people's heads until unless we are that person, man. I try to speak what's on my mind, but probably like maybe let's say like 75% of the time I'll tell y'all what's on my mind. 25%, that shit's just stuck in my head like Fort Knox. No one knows what's in there. I mean, we know what's in there, y'all. Well, Y'all can't get in though. Let's use some fucking Jedi mind trick. But what I'm trying to say is just like Dalia Dippolito married a guy, I forgot his name. She then hired, got married, got manipulated. Dalia manipulated one of her exes to call in as a lawyer and said one way to avoid something was put the house in your wife's name. So the husband was like, you know what? All right, bet. Believed him. It was a lawyer, apparently. Then Dalia tried to hire a hitman to fucking kill her husband. He had no clue, not a single clue. But you know what's funny? The person that was the quote unquote hitman was an undercover cop, and it was hilarious. But here's the thing: when Dalia came home and the officers were there, and she said that her husband died, she started crying, and she should have won an Oscar for that shit. But and then 2 hours later, in the interrogation room, there is her husband. Oh, she went to prison, obviously, but it's crazy. Some people, you don't know what's going on in their heads, man. You can only assume, and that can be a problem, man. Some curiosity killed the cat, but curiosity also makes things worse sometimes. And well, not necessarily curiosity, assumptions. When we get our brains working, we think we know what somebody's thinking. That makes it worse. Obviously, sometimes you can make a correct assumption, and that can be very beneficial. If you assume that the Bitcoin stock in 2006 is gonna take off, well, goddamn, good job for you. But obviously, again, most of the things that I've already stated today, all been situational, man. Like I said, if someone, you're not gonna give a second chance to somebody that's trying to kill you. Like, you're not gonna go, if they're trying to stab you, you're like, hey, let's go back to that exact same situation. Let's try it again. No. But if it's somebody that, like I said, someone said the R word, which is a slur towards mentally disabled people. But that person had no idea what that meaning was. They just heard their fucking friends say it, and they're like, oh, that's a dumb word. Okay, I'll say it too. But they had no idea what the meaning was. I gave that person a second chance because I believe that was just ignorance. They had no idea what they were fucking saying. And that's the thing, man. Some people think ignorance is... obviously, ignorance can be horrible. Because if you don't know what's happening in a specific situation, that can be horrible. But when someone's being... or when someone's being ignorant and they don't want to learn, that's one thing. But when somebody is just saying something that they really don't understand, that's kind of different. When someone doesn't want to understand something, that's different from them than a person that doesn't understand. The difference between not understanding it and doesn't want to understand. It's just, again, like I said, assumptions can, it's like, or we went back to the situational thing. It's all situational. Sometimes you can give second chances, sometimes you can't. I try to give I give a lot of chances, man, because I believe people. I don't believe in bad people, I believe in bad choices. And obviously there are some exceptions because some people are horrible people. But and when I mean that, I mean people that are so fucked up, man. They can't really comprehend simple an emotion. They're not human. What was that one thing, man? Fucking shit. I'm trying to think. I'm about to say it. oh, situational. Sometimes, like, I don't believe in bad people, I believe in bad choices. Exception. Fucked up people. Crazy people. Who's that guy? I don't know. I'm crazy guy. Crazy bitch. Um, like, sometimes people make a mistake. And you have to look at that. And you have to realize that's a mistake. And you have to try to educate them on that mistake. Man, like I just said, there's been plenty of examples of people, specific one person, or doesn't matter who it is, that have said things out of complete fucking ignorance. They have no idea what that means, what that word means, what they just said, what that importance of that thing that they just said meant, how they don't know what it fucking means, blah 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 blah. And if you educate them, they learn. They learn, hey, I'm not supposed to say the R word. Hey, I'm not supposed to say this word. Or, hey, I understand the importance of that situation. I understand this and that. All you do is call them a dumbass. What does that do? They feel like they just got, what, insulted? Because they just did. If I call you a dumbass, no, I'm gonna tell you why. Now, obviously, again, like I said, everyone, including myself, is hypocritical. I've probably called somebody that was ignorant a dumbass at one point in time. Well, I don't know if ignorant is the right word. I've said ignorant so much. I don't know if ignorant is the right word, but people that don't understand things, or they do not have the knowledge at that moment in time, or they do not have the perspective to look at something in a specific way and understand it. That's what I think ignorant means. I think that's the way I've learned it. But here's the thing. Sometimes people don't know what what was it? Sometimes people just make up shit. I saw this video. What is corrosion? I think that's the right word. Corrosion. Or how you say it? Hold on.
Coercion.
Yeah, whatever. The practice of persuading somebody to do something by using force or threats. Now, chat. I saw TikTok. Well, basically, TikTok reposted on Instagram of somebody that told their followers that this fucking word meant somebody trying to, I guess, convince you to have sex with them. Now, I mean, I guess they got one part right. The practice of persuading someone. And here's the one thing. Technically, you always convince them to have sex with you. Not necessarily. Well, here's the thing. If you're ugly as fuck, but you have a great personality, and you talk to them and they really like you, they're like, hey, this guy's convinced me to like him. Convinced, like, as in just, they realize. But technically, you have to convince to have sex anyway. You don't go up to people and be like, hey, let's fuck. At that point, that's just not good. But you talk, you have a nice time, and then you start talking about maybe doing it. That fucking word is threat and force. Different. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Who knows? Why are y'all listening to me? What the fuck did I do? I feel like with me, as much as people try to downplay my accomplishments, fucking gems of SoundCloud. I find that shit funny, man. I don't get it. How you do that? I mean, that's cool, but I really don't understand people. I mean, hey, it is what it is, and would you look at me? I don't give a fuck. I only care about the only opinion I really care about is 100% valid. Not necessarily, not even 100%. Maybe like 80. It's my own. Sometimes it's good to double to double think, or what is that word? Not necessarily double check. Is not necessarily question yourself either, but just sometimes you gotta look back at it and just think, was that the right decision? Or was that the right move to do? Or maybe let's double check and let's see if I should do that. Sometimes it's good to do that. I never think there's gonna be a person that's 100% confident in a specific decision, unless it's like, should I breathe air or should I not? I feel like you are pretty 100% confident in you should breathe air, but like obviously that's a dumbass. That's the thing, man. I say sometimes I'll say something as like I just said, nobody has a specific 100% confidence in a specific decision. But technically, there are some decisions that you have 100% confidence in making. Should you eat? Should you breathe air? Should you drink water? I think you're pretty confident in understanding that you should do those things to live. But those don't count because we know that already. But I mean, hey, again, like I said, with me, I just like talking and I like learning, man. The whole reason I want to start this podcast is so I can learn from other people. When I have people on, I can learn from them, and maybe if you listen, you learn from me. I just like voicing my opinion, and I just feel like it's a great way to do so. So, it's just I feel like I'm gonna do this a decent bit, man. It's a fun thing to do. It's a really fun thing to do, but I mean, hey, there's always the opportunity to learn something. There's always the opportunity in learning something. You will never, if somebody knows everything, what the fuck? That's a boring ass life. You know everything. What the fuck you gonna do now? Not learn anything? No. There's always the opportunity to learn something. You gotta look at that. That's the thing. The entitlement with people, they don't think they can learn something. Again, we go back to the fucking haters on Instagram. How much do you want to bet that they did not know that the money that you get isn't from your VOD fucking views, it's from bits and donations. That's how that works. Hopefully they learn something. Gems at SoundCloud. I love you, man. I love that dude. Great conversation topic. Man, and that was the thing I saw with Dave Chappelle. He said, no matter how many people love you, there's going to be somebody that hates you. And that's the reason why I do this. Because there's people that hate me. I don't know if he said that, but that's at least my thoughts. Is because I know he said for a fact, no matter how many people love you, there's going to be somebody that hates you. But I know for a damn fact, the reason why he keeps going is not only for the people that love him, it's for the people that hate him. Because they hate to see somebody as good as Dave Chappelle succeed. That's the same reason why I do this shit, man. I do it because y'all, because I love it, because y'all love it, and the people that hate me hate it. Because they stay mad. They stay mad. And you're so mad at me because you are jealous? No. Alright. And jealousy does not mean they want to be me. Jealousy is they see succession? No. Success. They're mad. They don't want to see people. That's the thing, man. Like I said, Kobe Bryant probably never wished failure upon another person. He's probably wished them to be better, so he has to work harder to do better. Never probably once has he wished somebody did worse so he could win. No. He only wanted them to to work harder, so he has to work harder, or him to work harder, be better. Because that's the main thing. Life is not about pushing people down. It's about bringing both people up. You pulling people down, no matter if you try to pull this person down, you're already down there to begin with. And you are still at the lowest point. No matter how hard you pull on that person to bring them down, you are still lower than them. But if you rise up together as people, not as fucking enemies, not as people that don't accept differences, but as people, as humans, as this species, we rise up together. It will help so much. That's all for this podcast. I hope y'all enjoyed. Y'all have an amazing day. I'm your host, Chef Tony. This is the podcast What's Cooking. Y'all have an amazing day. Keep on cooking. I think that's a great outro. Keep on cooking. I don't know. I'll catch y'all later. Keep on cooking.